all of those hundreds of miners came together to march for one cause. And the only thing they had in common, besides the things that's important to their life, was the bandana that identified them as rednecks. The rednecks word, and this is my main thing at the museum, is telling the history of the red bandana, sharing how much it means, and what an important history it is, because even this paisley, the early American quilters called these Welch pears and Persian pickles. Now, I knew Welch pears. You can see the immigrants in those pictures on the wall with their sashes and all of these symbols and the bandana, the paisley design right there. But I didn't know what Persia had to do with it. And then I found out this design came from ancient Persia. It was done in ceramics. And we don't see a connection between Appalachia and Persia, but these designs is integrated in both cultures, because of how beautiful it is, because of the red bandanas that the Appalachians wore in the mines, the immigrants brought on their sashes, and in their union and civic groups like the Oddfellows and the Knights of Pythias and the Red Men and the Orange Men. All of those brought their sashes, their kilts. That picture even has a Scottish kilt in it, and their bandanas. And so those things come along. So this design goes back to ancient Persia, goes to India, done in cashmere scarves for the rich. And the first time it's for the poor people, the working people, is at Paisley, Scotland, where it becomes a part of a factory that manufactures cheap thread, where you can do it real fast instead of on a spinning wheel, which meant cloth could be done very fast and cheap, which meant the price could be reduced so that handkerchiefs for working men and clothing for people that were poorer was a possibility. And so those things are sacred to me. From the Appalachian quilt to the Persian temples, the floors and their ceilings with these kinds of designs all over them. I tell everybody that the quilt and the bandana and all these things and the Persian temples, they're all laid out with squares of ceramics pieced together to make a beautiful design over the floor. If you make an Appalachian quilt, like you take little pieces and put it together. And I'm sure when you didn't have a quilt pattern and you were doing the very first Appalachian quilt design that you had ever done on your own that you're making up, one thing that happens when you put these little pieces of squares together, they have usually organic and geometric patterns layered together in a way that makes a beautiful design. But there's something else that happens. In the corners where these designs that are different come together, all of a sudden big circles will appear and get bigger, or hearts or diamonds or squares, these new designs that's made from separate pieces with different lines. The double wedding ring quilt is an example of what I'm saying, where these designs overlap and create bigger designs. I'm sure the first person that did that quilt or did that mosque floor didn't expect that to happen. And then the beauty of learning to manipulate that, to plan those kinds of designs where small individuals bring in beautiful, bigger designs, and it just lays out all over the floor. This museum is very similar to that. That's what this museum's about. This is what that bandana that I love so much is about. It's finding the unity and the harmony between the different designs and creating things way beyond what you thought was possible. We never dreamed we could possibly do this museum. Look at it. We're in the best building in Meet One. And that's beyond belief to me. But you know what? When you're here for the right reason And everything you donate is at a personal level, your own hard work, your own time, your own energy. And it's all done with love and heart and care for each other and students in history. There's not anything you can't do. And I am just blown away about that. When I give these little bandanas to them, I say, you find those groups that accept you the way you are and likes you and makes you feel valued. And then when your ideas mesh and you learn, it's hard to believe the things you can actually do. And I see them excited about it when I give them those bandanas. They tie them around their neck and you see them up and down the streets and just having so much fun. It's the very basis of this museum.